You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It is October 16th, 2014. You'll probably be listening to this on October 17th, 2014, and it's another episode of the Impact Implosion. As always, my name is Seth Drake, and since Mike Poland is not here, we have a substitute, and that is from the SmackDown Rundown, Jordan Garber.
How are you doing tonight, Seth?
Good.
Awesome stuff. I'm ready to talk Impact.
Yeah, first we gotta talk some news.
For sure.
Sure, the news of, apparently, and I'm gonna guess this is a complete swerve. I have no real reason to believe this is not a swerve. Is Spud's no longer on the roster page.
Oh, really? Well, the thing is, maybe what they're trying to do with Spud no longer on the roster page is make it a work, or the possible situation is they could just send him back, or just sending him back to the UK to wrestle. And he's just done with the company.
Oh no, it's totally a work. He's even talked about it. And the company's basically highlighted it, so it's a freaking work. Such a work.
And that's kind of like one of those rare works too, because normally there isn't a work where they would remove the name off of the roster page and they want the fans to believe that he's done. But it's kind of going to be cool when we see Spud back and what he does to make that impact.
Also, Dixie Carter got a lot of flack on Twitter before Bound for Glory. You might not have heard of this about the
Eddie Guerrero one.
No, the Eddie Guerrero one was kind of stupid, but that wasn't the one she got killed for. The one she got killed for, there was a typhoon coming in the area.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, then a big storm is coming.
Nice.
Put an image of James Storm.
Oh, really? I didn't know he was that far. That's stupid.
Yeah, it basically awful. put up like a weather thing.
Yeah, I know.
Of like a giant storm, and then put it like James Storm. It was stupid.
God.
It was she had to apologize for it. It was so insensitive.
Because of a typhoon, you use one of a wrestler under a character name. Oh, that's just as serious. That's ridiculous. People are dying, and you put there's a typhoon, and you put James Storm. That's stupid.
Well, they didn't say typhoon. There's a storm coming. The biggest storm of the year is coming.
Either or, it's stupid because they say, there's a storm, James Storm. It's just cheesy.
It is. It was, remember that Hogan did that tsunami one where they had to cut that out and apologize.
It's so funny when you look at how some stupid people act sometimes. It's really funny. That's hilarious, though. It's so stupid, it's hilarious.
Yeah, there was that. So, yeah, that happened. Dixie had to delete the tweet, apologize, all of that. So, let's get to Bound for Glory. And this was held at the Karakuen Samu Hall in Tokyo, Japan. Taz and Mike Tenay are on commentary from Nashville, of course, and at times the audio is so bad it sounds like they're on a Skype call.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was horrible.
Why wouldn't you just take the trip like the rest of the crew and just go all the way to Japan? Why do you have to do it from the studios live? Like, who does that? Just go on a trip with the talent. You're a big budget wrestling company. You're supposed to go with them. Wouldn't you want to go to Japan? After all, wouldn't you want to go?
Yeah, but apparently they aren't at any of the Bethlehem tapings too. So they're doing those from studios as well. So
what is going on with this company?
They're saving money from sending these guys over, and it looks terrible. Problem is, Jerry Borash is over there.
What's next? Are they going to have to go out of their own pockets and start paying for their own airfare? Like, these are jobs. People have families. You just can't, play around like this. Either, I don't know, there are so many budget cuts, so many releases going on, and I was discussing this with before my interview yesterday. It's not what it used to be. TNA is not looking like it used to be 2 or 3 years ago, or even when it had the old Impact still. It's just completely changed. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Budget cuts. Janice had to take over. A lot of budget cuts happened. I really think the Carters are losing interest in this company. And
I've heard a lot of things too about Dixie Carter not being the smartest mind in wrestling.
Oh,
and
God, no.
She's not. I had the honor of talking to Dixie a few times, but all she is TNA wrestling president. She doesn't know much about the business. She just does this because she has the big bucks and she wants to make money. That's all she's in it for. Let's be honest. She hasn't really. Yeah. She has no clue what she's doing sometimes.
Oh, absolutely not. So, anyways, our first match is Manic versus Minoru Tanaka, which I should mention, this is a Wrestle 1 ring, first of all. They didn't even get a TNA ring in there.
Could they not afford that a TNA ring either? And oh my goodness, wow.
I know. I understand the 4-sided ring. It's the Sumo Hall, but at least make it look like a TNA ring, but it looks like a Wrestle 1 ring, so they didn't even bother. This was so cheap. And anyway, the match was, for an opener, it was pretty good. It was okay.
Yeah, sure.
It was Tanaka, and here's the big thing, Manic's supposed to be a heel right now, but Minoru Tanaka for some reason is so hated that some people were cheering for Manic.
Man, what a mess. Well, it's in Japan, so still he's a hated heel in Japan, so
yeah.
Pretty much it's just yeah. I didn't have the chance personally to watch Battle for Glory, but I did catch some of the highlights and and we'll obviously go through that later, but for now I'll continue to go through the matches with you.
By the way, there was a spot where Manic's supposed to do what's supposed to look like a Pele kick or something, but he completely misses Tanaka by a foot, and it really looked bad, and Tanaka sold it.
Oh no.
He missed him by a foot. It wasn't even close, so. Anyways, Tanaka won, beat him with the Pero special, or the Fujiwara armbar, if you really want to get specific.
From what I heard from the reports and from the highlights I saw, it was a decent match besides that big botch there by Manic, but like you said, great opener and a perfect start to the pay-per-view. Yeah.
Then we have a look at Team 3D from Slammiversary 2007 when they beat Rick Steiner and Animal. I have no idea where the hell they found this footage.
I can't find that. I guess if I were to look on YouTube right now, I don't even know if I could find it. I don't remember that, but I can remember that 2007 was a good year in TNA wrestling, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. But anyway, Ethan Carter the third is backstage. He's bringing in a surprise person to Impact. We'll get more on that later. And he's going to take his undefeated streak worldwide. Then we get a video package for EC3, and then he faces Ryota Hama, or as I like to call him, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh, that big fat guy. That guy's huge.
Oh, dear God. And in Rikishi garb.
Total ripoff.
Anyway, EC3 comes to the ring. He's finally in the country that will show him the respect he deserves. He mocks the Japanese fans for not knowing English and says, "Me undefeated. Me greatest wrestler alive today. Me defeated Sting, Bully Ray." And he's like, I'm gonna slam Hama tonight. Slam ham, ham slam, slam ham, ham slam.
Yeah, he's funny because I like what EC3 is one of those better names. I like what he does with you can't wrestle, yes I can. He's actually playing with the crowd, and he's doing a really good job at it.
Actually, you can't wrestle, I disagree. You can't wrestle, I'm very good.
It's funny. That's pretty funny. I like that. I do enjoy that, and I just hope TNA is, not stupid, not as idiotic to get rid of Ethan Carter now because of budget cuts, because once he's gone, pretty much this company's on a string here. They're almost at the end of the string with the way this is going. Like, no one's going to their live events. They can't even afford to bring Mike Tenay and Taz over there, and they can't even. They can't. It's not even normal. Like, anyone could sit at home and I could do it right now. I could work for a promotion from home and do announcing for it. It doesn't seem the same. It feels like you actually have to be there. All of the talent have to be there that night that are booked to do their jobs. You just can't stay at home and do that.
Anyway, this match was kind of really just a freak show match. It's just a disaster. Not that it was horrible or anything. They did the best they could with this match, but you're dealing with Hama.
Yeah, and you're dealing with Ethan Carter. Two different, totally different styles.
Yeah.
And, different weight thing. It's hard to. I kind of wish Ethan Carter would have a opponent that was more notable in the U.S. As for a lot of these guys, most of these guys that I have heard of, but pretty much like we talked about before the show, this seemed like a one-night only pay-per-view because I know these wrestlers' names, but what about the basic TNA wrestling fan? It takes a lot of knowledge and research to know all of these names, and some fans are probably pissed off because they're like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy? And all due respect to those guys, they're great wrestlers, but not everyone's heard of them who's a TNA fan.
And anyways, Hama did the Rikishi spots, like the stink face. He did a stink face.
Yeah, I noticed that. I saw that on the highlight package.
And then Ethan Carter hit him with a low blow and a semi 1%er, except instead of Hama hitting his head, he hit his stomach. He's too big to hit even his head on this.
My goodness.
So Ethan wins. Match is over. Thank God for that. Then we take a good look at Team 3D beating Beer Money at Lockdown 2009.
Well, the thing I like is that I like having the flashbacks because I can remember, this is when it used to be good.
Oh, yeah. It's when the company used to care about what they were doing.
Exactly. Now, it just seems like what they're doing nowadays is that you're just slapping something together and it's like, all right, make it work. And it's like, it doesn't work. It takes a lot of knowledge to put a good show together for not just wrestling, but for anything. And it seems like TNA is just not making that effort right now.
Well, here we get a video. We get a video from the night before of MVP. He says some are fans of sports entertainment, but some, like himself, are fans of the art of wrestling. People would ask him why he would walk away from a multi-million-dollar position to go to Japan. And he says, I look for a challenge, and the best wrestlers are found in Japan. Wanted to test myself and prove that I'm a premier wrestler on the planet. I have my heroes, guys like Muda and Musawa, and those guys strike fear into the hearts of other people's heroes, sports entertainers. So he has had some success in Japan, and now he's back, and he's done his homework on his opponent, Sakamoto, and he's not impressed.
No, he wasn't?
Sakamoto? No. And by the way, you might previously know Sakamoto. He worked in WWE as Tensai's assistant. Yeah.
Tensai's assistant. He always did. He blew whatever it was, and then I totally remember that. I kind of wonder where he went. I heard he worked the Indies in the U.S. and now he's off to Japan. So it's kind of cool to see him back then, I guess.
Yeah, and then TNA made sure to mention this, that he worked for WWE.
Oh no.
They just mentioned it like a passing, like, yeah, he worked for Tensai. He's Tensai's assistant.
Did they actually say that they worked as Tensai's actual legit? Did they actually say those exact words?
Yes.
Oh my! I don't know. It's kind of cool when TNA brings up WWE. I don't know. It always gives you that weird feeling like, wow, they brought that up. But to bring that up, wow, that's a bit shocking. It's nothing wrong with that. But it's kind of cool.
Anyways, this was once again an okay match. MVP really is good with the Japanese style. He's a lot better with it than the American style wrestling.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I've seen lots of his Japan matches, and he seems to be better with Japanese style rather than the American style. That's something I can completely agree with.
So, he's a Punisher fan. He's got the Punisher skull on his shirt, on his tights. MVP does. So, obviously he's a comic book fan, and he wins with the drive-by kick.
Decent match, I guess. Like I said, I did watch some of the highlights of these matches. It was a decent match. nothing spectacular, but it was a match that was on the show, and it was decent.
So anyway, we get pre-recorded comments by Samoa Joe. He wondered why he took this mission and realized it was to bring the X Division, the greatest division in the world, into the spotlight. And he says he will leave X Division champion tonight, even though if you look at the tapings, he's no longer champ.
Yeah,
but that's later.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
One thing I was saying is that, like, it's so easy for the fans to just search up spoilers, and, like, it just isn't, like, the tapings are taped from so far back that it's, like, it's totally given away. You can just go on a basic wrestling and find out who's the new champion. It's just like, and then you just find, it's just so predictable, because all you can do, someone can just search Impact Sport and they'll show up, because tapings aren't they taped till December, like that far?
This is the last tapings of the year. These are all the tapings for the rest of the year.
Wow. How many shows did they do them? How did that work out? Did they just do them at live events, or
they did them all in Bethlehem, and there were 4 days worth of them.
That's been a long time, because if it's taped for the rest of the year, well.
Yeah. Anyways, it's Samoa Joe defend. So basically, because those guys ended up champion on these tapings later on, they're going to retain here. So there's never going to be any new champs.
No.
And he got 2 title matches here. But first of all, you got the X Division title match: Samoa Joe, Low Ki versus Kaz Hayashi.
I heard good things about Kaz Hayashi. Decent wrestler, I guess.
Best match of the night, by the way.
Best match of the night, yeah, I could agree with that. From the highlights I've seen, good match.
By the way, you can thank Mike Tenay for actually booking Kaz Hayashi for the spot.
Oh, did he book him?
Yeah, Mike Tenay, yeah, he basically was the one who pushed for Kaz Hayashi to get this spot.
Well, that's good for him. Kaz deserves it. It's just, without this match, and I'll give you my total review of the pay-per-view after. But, yeah, that was probably, like you said, probably the best match of the night.
And, yeah, Mike Tenay basically got joked upon by Taz, calling Kaz Hayashi his favorite wrestler. So, this must be your favorite wrestler.
A little bit of a rib there.
Yeah, a bit of an inside joke there on Tenay, because he actually got him this position. And I actually agree with him getting this position. Kaz Hayashi can wrestle still.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, anyway, Samoa Joe wins, retains by making Low Ki pass out with the Coquina clutch. And the sad thing is, I had to actually, at this point, Boris could get his ass to Japan, so why couldn't you two?
Yeah, exactly.
So, then we had a tag match between Wrestle One guys. Well, actually, first we had JB interviewing Joe in the ring. And fans chant Joe's name. Joe talks about the Japanese fans. Speaks some Japanese, actually. And
that's kind of cool to see.
He's here to start a new wrestling revolution with Wrestle One. He is Samoa Joe. This is Bound for Glory, and he is pro wrestling. We also got Team 3D reuniting to put Dixie Carter through a table. And then we got pre-recorded comments from Tommy Dreamer, who inducted them into the Hall of Fame. And he said he didn't think it would be coming back to Japan, but to come back and wrestle his best friends is an honor. And he talks about the match tonight and gives thanks. So then we have a completely Wrestle One exclusive match where it's Jiro Kuroshio and Yusuke Kodama versus Andy Wu and El Hijo del Pantera or Patera, depending on which guy you say it, who it is. Commentators called it Pantera. Some people are like, it's Patera.
Well, I'll say this, is like, I follow wrestling a lot. Like, I've done these interviews, I've done these radio shows for 2-3 years, and I have no idea who anyone in that tag team match was. People might think I sound, you don't know who these guys are, then you don't know anything. No, honestly, I have no idea who anyone in this tag team match was.
They're all young guys.
They're all young guys. How, like, are they, like, 19, 20, or? I
have no idea, but, Jiro Kuroshio is basically the Japanese Brian Kendrick.
Oh, well. Does he really, so he's the Japanese Brian Kendrick.
He's basically the Brian Kendrick, not just Brian Kendrick, the Brian Kendrick gimmick. He's got the jacket on through the whole match.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And Andy Wu and El Hijo are both masked wrestlers.
All right.
And Yusuke is basically a clean cut wrestler. Kushio and Kodama are this tag team called Nosao or something. I think that's what they call them. Novus. That's what it's called. They're a tag team called Novus. So that's all I know about them. But Kodama hit a corkscrew moonsault on Pantera for the win.
All right. Well, it's not that. It's just like I don't follow Wrestle One. And, like I watched a bit of it, but I don't really follow it. But thanks for letting me know who some of those guys are. After the show, I will look them up and I'll do a bit of research on them. But yeah, I couldn't really say anything about the tag team match because it's a decent match, but I didn't know who any of them were. And
I couldn't say anything about them either. You just look at them. You just look at them and you could pretty much figure them out. Yeah,
that's pretty much for most characters. But before that pay-per-view, I've never heard of those guys, so although it is a good thing to see some new faces that you get to watch wrestle, so that's always a good thing too.
Next up, we had, let me get to the next part of my notes. Okay. We get a video package of Team 3D's Hall of Fame induction. Devon says that he and Bully Ray got together, it was magic, and he couldn't have asked for a better partner. He thanked TNA, and it's been cool to dance one more time. Bully says the fans are the ones who really got 3D inducted to the Hall of Fame. Thanks Devon, the people of TNA, and it's been a great marriage with Devon. He thanked Great Muta for having them, and then thanked TNA and the fans again.
I do remember that because I saw that on Impact Wrestling yesterday. And it was decent, but there was no fans there. All it was a banquet.
That's a sad thing about these things. Most Hall of Fames are really like fans. Most Hall of Fames have fans and stuff there to watch the induction, but not here. These are just a banquet, and it's always been that way, sadly.
Like, why don't you, it doesn't even matter, get to go to a Legion or go to somewhere and just televise the fan. It doesn't matter, it's still a Hall of Fame, and let some people know. You just don't go to a banquet, then record it and show it to everyone, because some people are going to say, oh, I wish I was there, how could I have seen that? And then they just see a banquet, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, there's no way I could have been there, because I'm not a wrestler. We have Abyss and Tommy Dreamer versus Team 3D. This was a garbage match, as you could basically see. There was a spot, and this is how Tommy Dreamer is these days. I cannot miss saying this. Tommy Dreamer tries to spit water in Devon's face and completely misses.
Oh, no.
Yes. He basically missed. He spit up in the air, not even close to Devon's face.
How could you do that? How could you miss something like that?
I don't know. I just saw it. I'm like, you failed, good sir. How do you do that? So, anyways, Abyss did the tack spot. Team 3D wins. This was a forgettable match.
Too bad, too, because it had the potential to be a good one.
It was basically a garbage match, really.
Yeah. Too bad they didn't figure it out. It would have been if it was a good match, it would have been entertaining to see, but not this time.
So anyway, Team 3D stands in the ring as the fans chant their name. Bully thanks the fans and talks about how they're able to do what they love and that their favorite place in their entire world is Tokyo, Japan. Devon says the testify line. Their music hits, and we go to the next segment. Of course, what you don't see here and what is cut from the entire show is apparently Team 3D went into business for themselves and basically called out the Bullet Club.
Oh, okay.
Which, if New Japan, that's AJ Styles' group.
Yes, most definitely.
So, yeah, calling them out, they'll kick their rear ends. So, yeah, it really was not needed.
More politics, more crap to deal with.
Yeah. So then we got pre-recorded comments from Velvet Sky.
Why don't you do them live at the pay-per-view? Why is everything pre-recorded?
Probably because the show was pre-recorded.
Probably because the show is pre-recorded. It's like, wow, it's like, I miss the old TNA. I miss you. I miss the old TNA. This is pre-recorded. They can't even afford to bring their announcers down. It's crazy.
Yeah. So Velvet Sky says this is her first time Japan, hoping it's not her last, and says, I want the Knockouts title. I'm the underdog, but the odds are in my favor.
Makes no sense.
I know.
At all. What type of promo is that?
I have no idea. That if you're the underdog, the odds are so not in your favor.
what an idiot. Velvet knows better than that. She knows better than that. She's been she has a look of a wrestler. She's gorgeous, and she's a decent wrestler. She knows better to say something than to say something like that.
She's a decent wrestler. I'd say she's a terrible wrestler.
Terrible wrestler, but a good mind for the business.
Yeah, anyways, this match, Velvet Sky vs. Havoc, terrible. You're basically trying to give Havoc this monster heel, but you give Velvet so much offense in this match.
Jeez.
And this...
Did you buy this, Seth? Did you actually buy this pay-per-view?
No, my friend did, and I watched it.
Is your friend upset that he spent $50?
No, he actually did this as a pity buy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not here to hate on TNA because, like they say, a lot of people listen to Angry Marks, and I have a lot of connections with involved in wrestling, and when it comes to my career, you never know who could be listening. But part of a podcast here is to give my honest opinion, and so far with the pay-per-view and the way this company's going, it's entertaining to watch. So it was a good episode last night. I was tweeting about it, but right now it's not what it used to be for sure.
So anyways, this match ends where Havoc gets Velvet Sky in a bear hug, and it only lasts a second before Velvet taps out. She just taps out so quickly I missed it the first time. I was like, what the hell?
I guess the odds were in her favor.
Yeah, they weren't. So then we had pre-recorded comments from James Storm. Talks about how Sonata was lost under the guidance of Great Muta, and Muta may have been number one, but there's always room for a new one. And we get a video package of the feud. Basically, all these video packages, you could see them before the pay-per-view even started, because they basically were the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, it's main event time. Great Muta and Tajiri versus James Storm and the Great Sonata.
Why would that be the main event? But that's the weird thing. Why wouldn't they have Why wouldn't they have Lashley defending the world title on the company's top pay-per-view? This company's crazy.
I have no idea. Lashley's not there. Bobby Roode's not there. There's so many people that I guess they couldn't get down into Japan. There were so much booking issues.
Then why put the pay-per-view in? Why don't you put it in the U.S. like most normal?
I have no idea.
It's crazy. It's silly.
And anyways,
it's ridiculous.
One of the things I gotta notice here is Great Muta has on this headdress that's covering his face, and it basically looks like an insect larva egg. It is weird.
The Great Muta showing up at this pay-per-view, as well as a few of these other Japanese wrestling legends, as long Muta was there, probably saved the pay-per-view with even him being there in his presence, because obviously anyone in the wrestling business respects the Great Muta, and I guess pretty much with him being there, I guess that was probably one of the only plus sides of the pay-per-view.
And he's tagging with Tajiri,
which is cool. It's good to see Tajiri back.
Yeah, so this match was actually okay. The heels were being heels. Usual. Where both Tajiri and Sonata were trying to miss each other, but intentionally the other one ducked. And basically there was a spot at the end where Sonata went for a springboard, tried to attack both Muta and Tajiri, and they both missed him at the same time. And no, it was good. It was a good spot. They got him. And then Great Muta hits the Shining Wizard, gets the win.
That was a good finish there. I will admit that was a good finish, and I didn't mean what I meant by the oh my god with the miss thing. That was good to see. Finish was good. It was a good match for sure. I liked what James is doing with the whole Great Sonata thing, because it can get really under a lot of fans' skin if they're into the Japanese wrestling and commit to it. It's an awesome gimmick that Sonata has to boost his career for now. After
the match, Storm attacks Muta and Tajiri from behind, kicks Tajiri out of the ring, and whistles in the back. Manic comes out, and all three of them start working on Muta. And then Team 3D comes in and makes the save. And that's the end of the show as they're all celebrating, and the Storm's Revolution are heading up the ramp.
Wow.
Overall, this was an okay show. This really, I think, deserves a C show because it is not a Bound for Glory, and it's not a it's really a one night. If this would be great for a one night only, but it's not.
That's what I meant. I'll give it a B for a one night only show. But as for TNA and its company itself for Bound for Glory, I'll give it a D, only because it had a few good matches on the show.
It's not Bound for Glory.
So, it isn't Bound for Glory.
Although the good news for TNA, and apparently, according to attendance here, it was a legitimate sellout of 1,500 fans.
Like
so they sold
1,005. So 1,500.
Yeah.
That's not good. I don't find that good.
No, actually, that's good for the Sumo Hall.
Oh yeah, for the Sumo Hall, yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, that's the Sumo Hall. Yeah, that's good for the Sumo Hall. So they legit sold out that place, so which is better than their tapings.
Better than their live events. At their live events, they probably would go to a high school, and it would be like the size of assembly at a high school would be more than a TNA live event. In some cases.
Yeah, not that. So, anyways, we got to go to Impact now, and it opens up with Kurt Angle talking about what went down last week with Lashley and his group. And he won't allow that to go down again, calls it manipulation, and calls Lashley out. Angle says, I want to know, I know you're not happy with me right now, because I told Kenny King and MVP to take the night off. So they can't manipulate the world title picture anymore, but Lashley is required to defend the world title, and he wants to know why Lashley turned Rude's rematch challenge down. Lashley basically says what we knew. He had a shot, and he's got to earn it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then he goes to Kurt. Do you want a shot? Clause. Yeah, he doesn't have a rematch.
Oh, he does have. Okay.
Yeah, challenger doesn't have a rematch clause. So Lashley basically asks Kurt, "Do you want a shot?" And Angle says, "One day I will fight you, and you will regret that day for the rest of your life. But today is not that day, and you're going to get a new number one contender. It's going to be a 4-way later tonight, and the contenders are going to be Eric Young, Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, and Jeff Hardy." And meanwhile, on commentary, Taz is not happy about this. He's like, why isn't the champion not informed on this? And today's like, he just did. So Angle says, I know you defended the title against all these men already, but the winner will face you for the title. So yeah, one of these guys is getting a rematch.
One of those guys are getting a rematch. Decent announcement. And we'll talk about it when it comes to that match in our show here.
Only problem is, based on storyline, it's kind of a foregone conclusion who's winning this.
Yeah. The question is, do you think the person who's going to win that number one contender who won that number one contenders match is going to win against Lashley, or is he going to hold the belt for a long time?
Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, footage of Team 3D being inducted to the Hall of Fame is shown again. And then Hardy talks about Jeff Hardy in the main event, and Magnus just walks up to him. Magnus introduces himself and says, I'm surprised to see you're still around after the Hardys lost the tag series. But I guess Jeff needs a cheerleader tonight. And Matt says, you know what? I'm proud to be my brother's cheerleader because I love and support my brother, unlike the relationship between you and Bram. So he challenges to a match, and Magnus says, okay.
And then we go on to that match, and
no, we go to TNA Knockouts Championship match between
Havoc and Madison Rayne.
Another. You know what? The better. This was kind of better than the Velvet Sky match because at least Madison got less offense than Velvet did. But Velvet this was long, too long.
Yeah, it was. I could agree with that.
Havoc wins. There was a funny spot where Velvet goes for the roll up and can't even get Havoc rolled up.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I like Havoc. She's a good wrestler. She did well on the Indies, wrestled a lot for WSU, and now she is in TNA making an impact.
So Havoc hits her with the chokeslam, which she calls the Harlot Slayer, and wins.
I'll just call it a chokeslam. They have to have a fancy name just for a chokeslam. If you have a fancy name for a move, be more creative with it.
I know. In the back, Devon talks to Kurt Angle, and Kurt thanks Devon on 3D being inducted in the Hall of Fame. Now, if you're wondering why Bully Ray is here, Bully Ray's contract, you might remember, expired. And that Bound for Glory show was basically his last book date, even when all these were filmed. Team 3D was basically, for the most part, done. Bully Ray had 2 bookings, and that was it. One of them was that that ladder match, that Full Metal Mayhem match that they were able to negotiate, and the other was Bound for Glory match. Otherwise, he was done with TNA. So that's why he's not here.
That's wow, they're in a mess right now.
Yeah. So anyways, Eric Young's talking about how he has a 25% chance of winning tonight, and he'll take those odds any night.
Scott Steiner now. He's trying to pull a Scott Steiner promo.
Who, EY?
EY. He'll take a 25% odd. Like he said, didn't he say something like, I had a 5% chance last time, but now I have a 25% chance. I'll take those odds any day. It's still a 25% chance, Eric. Like, what's going on?
Well, he'll take those better than 5%. Better than 5%.
Better than 5%, I guess.
Yeah, so then we got Magnus versus Matt Hardy. This really confused me because there was one spot that was good, and that was Magnus powerbombing Matt Hardy into the apron. That
was a good spot.
Yeah. Other than that, this match was kind of okay. I understand. I don't understand how Hardy won this. Why Hardy won this match?
Yeah, he kind of wanted to think he would put Magnus over, but I guess it was just a little quick promo thing, and he needed a match for tonight. So they brought Matt Hardy in to face Magnus. And I made a tweet, too, on my Twitter, at Jordan J. Garber, that's my Twitter, about Matt Hardy still being able to do it well in the ring and being a good wrestler. It's always good to see Matt Hardy back, that's for sure.
So then we got footage from Bound for Glory shown where EC3 proclaimed he would introduce his new bodyguard this week. And then we got an intergender tag team match with the Bromans, Jesse and Zema Ion. Robbie E's not here because he's off on The Amazing Race with Brooke Tessmacher. And Angelina Love, Velvet Sky's not going to be on the outside, versus the Menagerie. Crazy Steve, Nux, and Rebel, who has recovered from having a broken arm.
I like the Menagerie. I really like their whole character thing.
I hate the Menagerie.
They have the best theme in wrestling right now.
Oh, no, they're not.
I groove to that thing all night. Like, before I go to bed, it's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It's awesome. It just makes
God, I hate the Menagerie.
Kidding.
I hate Crazy Steve with his freaking horn.
Oh, man, it's solid. Hey, maybe they should have, a message for TNA is that maybe they should add a new member. They should add Jordan Garber to the Menagerie. That would be kind of cool. An extra freak show. Jordan Garber, a wrestling interviewer, journalist, becoming the next star of the Menagerie. That would be awesome. Add some more freaks to it. It's awesome.
Anyways, this match kind of blew. You know, one of your women is green. Angelina Love doesn't give a crap, really. She hasn't given a crap since he's returned, really. And, so, yeah, they won. There was a spot where Crazy Steve spanked, Zema Ion.
You're right about Tanya, a Rebel, being so green. And you can just tell in her matches that she's still really, really green right now.
So, this was basically terrible. Anyways, they win. Menagerie wins. Steve hits a diving tornado DDT. The less said about that match, the better.
The less things said about that match, the better. But maybe TNA should send me like a signed 16 by 20 poster of the Menagerie. That would be pretty solid. Seems awesome. I don't know if I'm being sarcastic or not being sarcastic. It's actually not that. I don't actually hate them. It's actually their gimmick is kind of catchy. I don't mind it, but it is a little bit ridiculous, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. In the back, Austin Aries and Rude talk about tonight's match, and then we get Ethan Carter III pointing to the tunnel, and his new bodyguard comes out, and it's Brodus freaking Clay.
Well, hey, at least it was kind of cool for Angry Marks, since Brodus was on according to what I've heard, he was on the Undisputed Wrestling show, so that's kind of cool. So, hey, his appearance probably on the Undisputed Wrestling show is better than his one in TNA. That promo was so long, I'd rather listen to, shout out to Rick, Craig, and Zane. Like, they're awesome. I love their shows. Him having Brodus Clay on their program, which was an entertaining interview, was better than that promo on a multi-million-dollar program.
So anyways, his new name is Tyrus. And I thought the NXT name generator was terrible.
Right, I guess he just went on, like, namegenerator.com and typed in Brodus Clay, and it says, your name is now Tyrus. It's like, alright, that's my gimmick now.
So anyways, Devon comes out. EC3 is still mad about Devon, Team 3D being in the Hall of Fame after what happened to her Aunt D. So EC3's like, there is no man in the company that will ever defeat me. So Devon comes out and says, you've listed all those names of all those Hall of Famers you've beaten. There's only one you haven't beaten, me. So,
what happens is that he gets attacked from behind with a garbage can lid by Bram, also known as in WWE NXT formerly as Kenneth Cameron, and
who decided to beat up a cop and got fired for it.
Decided to beat up a cop and get fired. Don't worry, I've had controversial issues too with my wrestling stuff, but to beat up a cop, oh my god.
Yeah, get drunk, punch a cop.
That's beat up a cop.
Yeah,
so you gotta pace yourself some. I gotta say that too at times, but like from him to beat up a cop, I wouldn't be that drunk to do something like that.
I know. That was just so that's why he got released, and he's doing well in TNA though, but maybe he shouldn't have made that mistake.
Back to WWE, or is he done?
I don't know if WWE would want him back. I think I think the only person who could bring him back is his real life wife, who is Charlotte.
Which is cool.
Yeah, so I think that's the only way you could get back is if maybe Charlotte puts a good word in for him. That's about it. But anyway, EC3 basically says, you know what? That means I beat Devon. Even though there never was a match. So, you know what? I don't want to leave the ring yet. And Tyrus is like, me neither. I just got here. So EC3 is like, I got a real treat for you. I found a legend deep down in the ocean for Tyrus to test his skills against, and it's Shark Boy.
That was funny. That was kind of funny with the whole donut thing.
Okay, yeah, you gotta remember last time Shark Boy was around, he came out he was bloated and basically got gassed in the middle of the match. Basically has come back not in fit condition. So TNA has decided to make this a gimmick for him. So Simon Dean's searching for him and finds Sharky eating donuts in his office, and Mac Diamond's like, you got a match! And he's like, hold on, I can do this, I can turn this on whenever I want. So he goes out there, and we get a really short, crappy match, which Tyrus wins by hitting something called the G-Grip.
Did you see Tyrus's tweet after? It's Shark Time's over, or something. He said something really funny. He made the funniest tweet ever. It was hilarious.
No, I love Ethan Carter III's tweet after beating Ryu Tahama. He says, I'm a sumo champion now.
But like what Brodus Clay did, or Tyrus in this case, after he beat Shark Boy, it'd say, Shark Time's over, bitches, hashtag Impact Wrestling. It's like, what the, oh my goodness. Yeah. What's going on with this place around there? It's going crazy.
So clips of Bound for Glory were shown, and in the back, Jeff Hardy talks up the main event. Then they show highlights of the tag team series. And then the Wolves cut a promo talking about their history. Their hunt will never die. It was basically a good promo, and then it was announced that there will be a tag team tournament with 8 teams. Winner will get a tag team title shot any place, anytime.
That was kind of cool. A cool announcement.
They just got to find 8 teams.
Yeah.
So then we have our main event and best match of the night, of course. And it's Showtime Eric Young, Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, and Eric Young. I mean, not Eric. I said Eric Young already. Jeff Hardy.
I like that match. It actually went very, very well.
Yeah. Both Roode hit his Roode Bomb and Aries hit his Brain Buster, and they eliminate both Young and Hardy at the same time. Nice spot.
Very good spot.
So then we had some, I'm trying to get my notes up here again. They were both able to fight each other's submission off. Roode went for the crossface, and Aries was able to break it. Aries went for the last chance. Roode was able to break it. So, and this was an Aries went for the Brain Buster. Roode, while up there, used to hit him in the head with a headbutt to get out of it. That's how you get out of that move. You're like, ugh. Your head's close to mine. I'll use it.
Yeah, just do the same thing again, I guess.
Though then Aries tries to use the turnbuckle dropkick, Rude ducks under, picks him up, and hits the Rude bomb to become number one contender. All four men show respect towards each other. Show ends. I'm going to give this a C+, mostly a forgettable show other than the main event.
I'll give it the same grade. I'll give it a C+.
So basically, that is it. Do you have anything to sell?
As for me promoting myself, or as for the show?
Yeah, promoting yourself.
Oh, pretty much. Well, honestly, Impact was a good thing. The company's still doing good, but it's just going through a lot of trouble right now. So hopefully TNA can rise up from that issue and go on from there. As of myself, if you want to listen to all the interviews I've done in the past, you guys can go on WrestlingWorld247.com. I gotta get this out of the way. Follow me on Twitter, of course, at Jordan J. Garber, and there's a podcast coming on AngryMarks.com soon. It should be up in maybe next week's the latest. My interview with former WWE developmental star Travis Tyler, and he did a really good interview, so it should be good, and that will be up on the website as well. And pretty much just stay tuned and catch the SmackDown Rundown as well on Angry Marks.
I forgot to mention one thing. One of the commercials that TNA showed was a bundle package for Sting.
Oh, did they? I guess I was eating or something.
Yeah, a bundle package for Sting, who is no longer there.
Oh.
This is one of my favorite things TNA does sometimes, where they show bundle packages of stars. Like, my favorite one they used to do were these action figures, and one of them was Rob Van Dam.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, Rob's been gone for like a year, and you're doing this.
Maybe they couldn't have enough money to make some new figures.
I know. I'm just like, Rob Van Dam, why is he there?
Maybe Rob Van Dam, you never know. Maybe Rob Van Dam still wanted to, maybe it was a work, who knows? I'm just kidding.
I know, he's like got a part-time deal in WWE. He's happy. The hell. So, that was it. Basically, this week, my polls for the next Monster Crap induction, I'm going to start inducting, Plan 9 from Outer Space, which should be fun. And other than that, Miley's already gone for a walk. She'll go for one in an hour, and, we'll see you all next week.